Tell you what, back-to-back losses do not have this fan base feeling some type of way, but I'm going to let you know 3 reasons why Michigan State can and will beat UCLA this upcoming homecoming game. Let's go, guys.
You are Locked On Spartans, your daily podcast on the Michigan State Spartans, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
This episode of Locked On Spartans is brought to you by Mazda. Like our players, we sweat every detail because when you make every move count, pulling off the unexpected is only the beginning. Stay tuned later for highlights in this week's Moving the Game Forward. It's Mazda, move and be moved. Spartan friends, Spartan family, Locked On Spartans listeners, thank you all so much for putting us in your game week plans, especially on homecoming week, guys. Hey, happy homecoming to all my Spartan friends and family out there. Please rate, review, subscribe, comment below your confidence level for this Saturday's game, because that is what we were going to kick it off with. I got to say, I was wondering if I was just like kind of alone here, just not feeling all too hot about the game this Saturday. And yes, I think Michigan State's going to win. But man, when you're 7.5, 8.5 point favorites, it's homecoming. The other team is flying across the country to play in a game at noon Eastern time. You should be thinking that, yeah, this is going to be a no-doubter. But I just wanted to check myself because, yeah, I'm confident, but just like kind of confident right now. So I went out there. I said on Twitter, okay, finish my sentence. My confidence level in Saturday's game is blank. We had sky high, kind of low, and non-existent. Guys, kind of low was the leader at 42%. Kind of high was 31%. Non-existent faith in this team checked in at 19.3%. And then only 6.8 of you guys are sky high confident. So that's 61% of us that are not confident, 39% that are confident, and then sky-high confidence again in last place. My God, we are a battered, bruised fan base. Just 2 losses, guys. That's all that it's been. But I get it. There's plenty of reason to be worried about this game. The offensive line, not too great. Okay, well, the defense, yeah, that was a really fun game they had last week. They actually got to the quarterback, but the larger sample size would tell you that, that's not always how it is here in East Lansing, especially against a very mobile dual threat quarterback in Nico Yamaliava. I don't know how many syllables to put at the end of that one, but we'll be calling him Nico for the rest of this show. So guys, I'm doing this for you as much as I'm doing it for myself, but let's talk about why Michigan State is 7.5, 8.5, or in some places 9.5 point favorites. Yeah, Michigan State is expected to win this game. They should win this game. It would be catastrophic if they don't. Don't get it twisted. But let's go through 3 reasons why Michigan State can be feeling good about this game. Hopefully this puts you in a chipper mood if you're in your car on the way to the tailgate right now, or maybe you're driving home from work on a Friday. Let's get ourselves into the weekend and game day here with positive vibes here. And this isn't all disingenuous. We're going to attach some stats to all these points. And number 1, the passing game. Yes, the same passing game that didn't even come close to throwing for 100 yards last week. And not just the passing game, but specifically the pass protection. And I know how rich this sounds, because last week, Aiden Childs, he was pressured on 45% of his dropbacks. That is horrendous. It was a murderer's row, it felt like, on that front for Nebraska. They were eating Aiden Childs for dinner on Saturday night. But why are we starting with pass protection? Because, well, guys, UCLA only has 5 sacks the entire season. That's right. They are going into their 6th game as a football team. They have 5 sacks the entire season. That is dead last in the Big Ten. Only 4 schools in all of FBS football. All 130-some schools have less than 5 sacks. It's Eastern Michigan, Army, Colorado State, and Georgia Southern. Guys, on that UCLA front, specifically their edge position, there are just 2 players with at least 3 pressures. Okay, and one of them might not even be playing, and that's old friend Anthony Jones. That's right, our edge guy from last year's team. He hopped in the transfer portal in the spring, I believe, if I'm getting my timeline correctly. He might not be playing because of injury issues. So, yeah, guys, this is not a violent pass rush at all from UCLA. I understand we got our own problems. The offensive tackle position was a nightmare last week. But, man, you talk about a handshake of a front to face for homecoming here. This is going to be the best one that you've faced. This is going to give time for Aiden Childs to let these crossing routes to whether it be Omari Kelly or, more importantly, Nick Marsh develop. Let's not have Aiden Childs have to be scraped off the floor here in the second quarter. This is also going to fall on the coaching staff too. Actually diagnose issues on your offensive line, unlike last week. And I think that, they're going to have a hard look in the mirror in this week of game prep and realize that, okay, we will make the changes when they have to be made. Number 2, the biggest reason why you can feel good about this game, UCLA's run defense. I mean, you thought the pass rush was bad. I just named a few stats right there. Their run defense, guys, is horrendous. And I get it. UCLA, they just had probably the win of the college football season last week, right? If not, the most seismic upset for the college football season last week. But that wasn't because of their defense, right? Like, Penn State still scored north of 30 points. Penn State still got 5.1 yards per carry on the ground. And that's actually, I'll tell you, if you're not hit the football stats, 5.1 yards per carry, like, for a defense is not good. But that's still somehow an improvement for what UCLA has done so far this season, because on the year, they have given up 5.3 yards per carry. That is dead last, not just in the Big Ten, but in all of Power 4 football. And that's a very basic stat, the 5.3 yards per carry, okay? If you want me to crank it up to analytics, guys, like, they rank outside the top 130 in rush EPA, okay? Their early down EPA, not good either. That's just like a long numeric way of saying that they struggle against first and second downs. Other teams find a lot of success against them, both on the ground and in early downs. They also ranked 136th in FBS. That is near the absolute bottom of the basement, guys, in third and fourth down success. And if you want an easier analytic to follow, let's debate if this is actually an analytic, but I like it a lot. It's called stuff rate. What percentage of times are you stuffing the team at or behind their line of scrimmage? UCLA's run defense doing it just 11% of the time. Guys, I know you probably don't have context to that. Let me just tell you, that is a dreadful percentage. And hey, I'm also big into these kind of stats too. Explosive stats. How many times are other teams running the ball at least 10 yards or at least 20 yards per pop? Well, they are dead last in the Big Ten, giving up 10-plus yard runs 32 times this season. And guys, there have been 9 instances where a 20-plus yard run has happened. Now, for Michigan State's offense, they're pretty solid with explosive runs. They have the 5th most 10-plus yard runs, but actually, like, ironically enough, the 5th lowest 20-plus yard runs, and I think that's because, well, yes, I think Mekhi Frazier has been a really good running back this year. Brandon Tollis, too, at times. None of those guys have, like, breakaway speed or getting away from the cop speed, as Gus Johnson used to call it. So, really good at getting those 10-plus yard runs. This is a defense where you can get even more of those. And guys, it's not just, hey, how long can you hold on to the ball? Can you sustain the run game? But can you set up play action for our guy, Aiden Childs? Because, man, you didn't see it last week, but the first 4 games of the season, he has been feasting at the play action. So you set up the run game, you're going to make your passing game even happier. The third reason, you're going to laugh. You might chuckle. You might think I'm doing a bit right now, but this is actually a legitimate third reason why you can feel good about this game. It's punting. Yeah, I know. Like, yeah, just like that random play that you just go to the fridge, get your beer during, or hopefully you did that last week as Ryan Eckley got absolutely wiped off the face of the earth. Yeah, it's important to punt the ball. And when you actually do block for your punter, which I anticipate Michigan State will do this upcoming weekend, the reason I'm bringing it up is that there is a wide disparity between these two punters right now, between Michigan State and UCLA. UCLA so far this season, 38 yards per punt. That is dead last in the Big Ten. That is second worst in all of Power 4 football. And on the contrary, as we already know this, Ryan Eckley, probably the best punter in the nation. He is booting the ball at more than 11 more yards than UCLA is. 49.6 yards. That is best in the Big Ten. That is best in all of Power 4 football. Field position is the name of the game in football. It's going to be no different for this one. UCLA, they have really been struggling at getting solid field position. I'm not going to say that's their only reason for just having one win this season, but it is certainly a reason. They can't pin other teams deep. Michigan State absolutely can. Give your defense as many chances to keep Nico out of the end zone as possible. Sometimes it really is just that simple. So, guys, there you have it. There's your recipe for faith in this Saturday's game. If you want a bonus fourth one, I'll give it to Jordan Hall, who Joe Rossi earlier this week said might be the best linebacker he's ever coached. I think Jordan Hall, not only has he done really well so far this season, but I think he has a big game this upcoming afternoon. I was going to say afternoon against UCLA. I imagine that unlike Penn State last week, he will be the spy on Nico. They're not going to let him just run wild. All right, guys, we got more to come. A lot of mailbag questions coming up. But first, you need to talk your ears off about DoorDash. That's right, guys. It's almost the weekend. It's time to look back and crown this week's MVP on Who Delivered, powered by DoorDash. Just like you can win every Saturday with DoorDash Streaks, saving more every time you order. These players delivered when it mattered most. Let's break it down. For Michigan State, I get it. Like, it was a loss, but still, Jalen Thompson delivered in a big way. I mean, we haven't seen this a lot from anyone on the defensive line. We're talking a sack. We're talking 2 tackles for loss. But, hey, he gave us at least a glimmer of hope moving forward into the season that, hey, maybe someone on the edge can actually threaten the quarterback, can actually get in his face and bring him down to the ground. So, guys, just like Jalen Thompson did it for our Michigan State Spartans last week, DoorDash delivers your Saturdays. With DoorDash Streaks, you save every Saturday you order. Stack it up all season, and you could save up to $250, including $100 in DoorDash credits. Order this Saturday. Keep the streak alive. Feel your game day only with DoorDash. Terms apply. Promo period goes through November 18th. Also, gang, hey, FanDuel, that's right. If we inspired you in the first segment to take Michigan State minus 8.5, you think it's going to be a decisive victory, go for it. If you're still not too confident, if you still think UCLA, well, they're getting 8.5 points, go ahead, make this Saturday even more fun with FanDuel. And guys, also, for new customers, it gets even sweeter because all new customers to FanDuel, you could bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win that first $5 bet. That's right. Pick a bet, put down $5, and if it hits, you will unlock $300 to use in bonus bets across the app. Let's say, for example, you think Nick Marsh is going to get hot this weekend. For him to score 2 touchdowns, plus 850 at the time of recording right now. So what are you waiting for, guys? Hop on over to FanDuel. Again, guys, it's FanDuel.com to download the FanDuel app. And yeah, $5 first win gets you $300 in bonus bets. All right, guys, again, FanDuel.com. All right, guys, before jumping into a few mailbag questions from earlier this week, I just wanted to talk about the vibes around this game. Allow me to just monologue for a little bit here as if I haven't done that enough. But I got to say, like, this week really feels like opening week again. And not for the excitement, not for the joy amongst the fan base. No, things aren't, like, great right now. What I mean by this is that, man, is this kind of like I don't want to say no-win situation because all conference wins should be celebrated appropriately. But, man, the reward that you get for winning just pales in comparison to the damage that you do with a loss here. I get it. Despite last week for UCLA, despite them stunning the world, beating Penn State outright, okay, hey, is this a renewed UCLA team? Guys, a loss would not be great. And let's say, for example, if you don't do any of the steps that we just named in the first segment, like if you can't pass protect against these guys, you're not going to do it against anyone the last 6 games of the season. Like if you can't establish the run against these guys, you're not going to do it against Indiana. Like, you're not going to do it against Michigan. You're not going to do it against anyone the rest of the schedule. Like, Nebraska, they didn't have a good run defense. They didn't have a good pass rush. You made their front 7, God, look like a brick wall with sniper guns. No, that was not good. But this is an even worse unit. It has to look good this week. And if it doesn't, oh my God, well, that's not great. That would not be good. And there is no reason to lose this game, really. I mean, it's kind of the same way that you looked at the Western game. If you win, woo! Great. Awesome. On to the next one. If you lose, well, you're going to lose a lot of people. My God, because UCLA is the team coming off the emotional high. Okay? Football is very emotional. You see a lot of ups and downs, whether it's emotional losses like Penn State had against Oregon. That affected them the following week at UCLA. Or sometimes that emotional win, you come crashing down. Like they're the team flying over 3 time zones. Not Michigan State this time around. No. UCLA is the team playing at 9 a.m. their time. All right, like there is no reason to lose this game. And hey, I get it. Like, sure, cool. Yeah, Michigan State, you're in year 2 of a rebuild. UCLA is in week 2 of a rebuild. Like, this should be a Michigan State victory. If it is not, look, am I going to demand Jonathan Smith be fired right on the spot? No, because, like, I know that's not the reality, guys. Like, hey, Matt, why do you keep on talking about that buyout number? Like, what's going on with that? It's because that's a very legitimate reason that he might not even find himself in the hot seat. Now, I will say this, even though that, hey, there's that $32 million buyout looming over Michigan State that I don't think they would ever pay, I will say this, like, at least the entire fan base would be aligned in, like, their emotions that, no, this is a a very, very underwhelming second year of said rebuild. We get a lot of like different opinions. Some people think I'm being too hard on the team. Some people think I'm being too soft on the team. Lose to UCLA, make it 3 straight losses. Everyone's going to be aligned here moving forward. So if not for nothing else, we got that going on. But again, I still think they do win this game, guys. I do. Now let's go swimming in the mailbag here. Now this is from Nicholas. A lot of these questions came early in the week, guys. So sorry it took this long. But they're still relevant because some of them tie to last week's game and this upcoming game. Or, hey, let's keep talking about this hot seat right now. Nicholas wrote in, if Penn State fires James Franklin for this season, and he also writes in, I don't find this likely, would you want MSU to fire Smith and throw the house at him? I know he can't win the big games, but at this point, I just want to win some games. He put that eloquently, let me tell you that. Hey, you think $31 million for a buyout is tough for Jonathan Smith? How about $56 million right now to buy out James Franklin? Or if you want to wait till the calendar flips to January 1st for Penn State, it will be $48 million. Guys, I pulled out this question to just let us know that sometimes, others have it worse. And you can debate amongst yourselves if you'd rather be Michigan State, kind of in the midst of a rebuild, or Penn State, who is always supposed to have their turn in the spotlight, but thanks to James Franklin, they can never actually have it. But no, to answer your question, I don't want a guy coaching that another fan base just paid $56 million to not have coached their team. I just know that's A-okay. I'd rather go in a different direction. Now, here's another email from Fritz. Now, Fritz always writes in great topics, great questions right after the game's end, really. So I'm sorry it took this long to get to it, Fritz. But Fritz asks, how did you feel about the Nebraska performance, and what concerned you / pleased you the most? Concerned, it has to be the offensive line, and I know a lot of people point to Aiden Childs saying that he regressed to what he was last year. I need to see him have a performance like that, at least against UCLA or another team, to just throw out the first 4 games of his season out the window. He looked great the first 4 games of the season, and I know that it was cupcakes like Western, Youngstown. That USC defense, still really strong, still looked really good in that game. That was not the reason they lost that one. But I also think that the reason he looked so bad last week, and I think I was pretty loud with this, is that offensive line gave him absolutely nothing to work with. Hell, they maybe even were the reason that he possibly was a little bit dizzy in that second half. But yeah, I'll say the stat again. Pressured on 45% of the dropbacks. Like, that's not normal. Like, that's not good. That's not bad. That's horrendous. No quarterback can succeed with being pressured 45% of their dropbacks. And what just 2 things concern me the most. The first one you've already heard talk about is that statistically, and also if you just look at them like size-wise, Nebraska isn't some great pass rushing team. Yet they were able to get to him throughout the entire evening. Like that is very concerning. The other concerning thing is too, and this has to be buttoned up. Nothing like this can ever happen again here the rest of the season. Is the coaching staff saying after the game, oh, we didn't see any glaring issues at the tackle position. That's why we didn't change anything until there was 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Like, no, I need the coaches to actually coach and actually look present in this game. I know I'm asking a lot here, but man, that was definitely the concern. Now to make it upbeat, to make it positive, because Fritz also did what pleased me the most, it is Jalen Thompson. I mean, I feel like we haven't said his name the entire season just because, like, he really hasn't done much in these games. Yes, he does, the dirty work, setting contain for the runs, making sure the run game funnels into the linebackers. I get it. But we just need someone to get to the quarterback. And Jalen Thompson, 1 sack, 2 tackles for loss. And this is going to be an interesting, and I think he was also aided too by the amount of times Michigan State blitzed last week. This will be interesting to see how Joe Rossi wants to handle Nico. Again, I'm not going to try his last name. Because you actually look at his numbers. Nico, oddly enough, has a higher completion percentage against the blitz than he does when he's not facing a blitz. Now, that's not to say that, oh, you're never going to pressure the quarterback, but I do wonder if Joe Rossi is going to take a little step back, maybe not as many safety blitzes last week, and that's going to help in the run game. Should Nico want to break one here? I am interested in that specifically for how the defense is going to look. Are we going to do what we did late in the game against Boston College? Not blitz as much, just really focus on the front 4, trying their best and hopefully succeeding to get to the quarterback, and then just dropping 7 into coverage for the most part. Look, that's what the numbers tell you. I don't know if it's going to 100% align with what Joe Rossi wants to do. I think he had a good game plan against Nebraska last week. I truly believe that. He wanted to send the house because he knew that, yes, Raiola, His splits between pressure and non-pressure are drastic. His splits between being blitzed and not being blitzed are drastic, and you saw it right there. He looked befuddled for the first 3 quarters. So, yeah, that's going to be a nice chess match for Joe Rossi here. Let's see here. Now, another question. This is going to be the last question, guys, before we talk about a little bit of basketball and also, my God, try to get things right for 5 best bets. But the last question here, how do you feel about the dynamic of this team? There was one specific scene in the game with Marsh yelling at Childs that made me a little worried about our team's dynamic. Does this concern you? Not only, and I talked about this after the game too, you may have already heard this answer. Not only did that spat between Childs and Marsh not concern me, but it reassured me that, okay, like the culture is actually moving in the right direction here. Now you can't have the receiver and the quarterback bickering every single game this season. But the fact that it's happened like once, okay, after a hard loss, I'd much rather see that than just a bunch of blank faces on the sideline. You get that enough from the head coach. Sorry. That was a cheap shot. I like Jonathan Smith. That was undeserved. Please keep me liking you, Jonathan Smith. I wasn't thrilled with you last game. I shouted at you a lot to start the week, but like let's get things turned around here. No, I was glad to see emotion from the players at least. Glad to see the players at least want to win here. All right, guys, we're going to cut it to basketball here really quick. But first, guys, you need to talk your ears off about Mazda because this episode is brought to you by Mazda's Moving the Game Forward. For those who believe it's not just about playing the game, it is about redefining it. These are the moments that do more than just put points on the board. They move crowds, move culture, and keep the game moving forward. And, guys, hey, we're going to shine a light on a quarterback last week. Again, not a win for Michigan State, but I think backup quarterback Alessio Milivojevic, you talk about a big stone spot to step in, your quarterback in front of you. Well, okay, he just got absolutely leveled. Go in there and finish off this red zone drive while we're already down 2 scores. We absolutely need a touchdown. Good luck, young man. And hey, he delivered. He also had a touchdown drive late in the game. So really solid showing for your backup quarterback right there. And when you follow what moves you, the unexpected is only the beginning. Just like there's more to every highlight, there's more to a Mazda vehicle. It's Mazda move and be moved. Also, guys, look your best for this homecoming. That's right. Hey, stop by Alumni Hall on the way to the tailgates because, well, Alumni Hall is going to have you looking your best and also have your tailgate its best too. Guys, if you're looking for clothing, they got all the officially licensed gear from the top brands from Nike, Columbia, Champion, Yeti, New Era, so much more. And they got apparel for the entire family from kids to adults, plus that huge selection of hats, gifts, and all the tailgating gear you could ever need to make yours the best setup in the tailgating lots this season. And they really take care of the whole Spartan community. Michigan State students, faculty, as well as military and all first responders get 10% off with a valid ID in the store. Also, follow them on social media. Download the Alumni Hall app because there's way more special offers and sales through both of those mediums. So what are you waiting for, guys? Pop into Alumni Hall in the Eastwood Town Center in Lansing near the Apple Store or shop online or through their app. And best part is, for every $150 you spend, you will get $10 in Hall cash to use for the next time. So what are you waiting for out there? Grab that new game day look. Spruce up your tailgate with Alumni Hall, your ultimate Michigan State shopping destination. All right, guys, let's talk basketball and basketball recruiting before we talk about the Big Ten preseason polls because a little bit of an update here. I'm trying not to get too excited, but my God, doesn't it seem like the smoke is blowing in the right direction as it pertains to Ethan Taylor. Now, we've talked here and there about this kid the last few weeks, and for good reason. The first good reason is that, hey, this top 25 kid, the number 2 ranked center in the class, he likes us. He's going to visit us last weekend for, Midnight Madness, for the Izzone campout. And guys, after he had that visit last week in East Lansing, he told On3, quote, "I don't think I ever experienced something like that night." Now, I get it. You know what? Kids say nice things about their visits all the time, especially here in Michigan State. My God, how many times have we seen a football recruit say, "Oh, man, it's really family over there, and I really love it," and then pick another school? I get it. But this was actually met by a pretty important move right after he said that quote because, hey, this weekend he was going to visit Kentucky. That's right, like that Kentucky, the one that plays in Rupp Arena, the one that's a bona fide blue blood. Yeah, that one. He canceled that visit. He's got everything that he needs to make his decision for college, and it comes conveniently right after he just visited Tom Izzo, Michigan State, and all those great Izzone members that were camping out that night. Guys, oh my God, it is not a done deal. And let's go ahead and knock on wood. I might just do this the rest of the show because this is how much I don't want to jinx this. My God, does it look okay for Michigan State, though? Now it's not done yet. Of course, the reason why we're not saying it's a done deal is because Indiana's still in the mix. They got cash. They got a blue blood program themselves, too. And Oklahoma also. Now Oklahoma not too far from this kid who is from Kansas. He actually plays at Link Academy, just like Michigan State's point guard commit, Carlos Medlock, which is also working for Michigan State here. But yes, Michigan State, they have reason to be the program that's smiling the most right now. But of course, the longer this goes on before you actually commit somewhere, the more you start to worry. But we also have heard that, hey, maybe something could be imminent here in the next few days. Who's to say? God, please, Ethan Taylor, commit somewhere and make that Michigan State soon. That would be great. So, yeah, guys, just wanted to update you on that because, whoo, is that a nice set of updates right there as it pertains to Ethan Taylor. Now, it was Big Ten Media Days today. Not going to riff too much on that. Maybe we'll get into it a little bit more next week. I didn't think there's anything too shocking from the Michigan State side of things. Jackson Kohler did say that Cam Ward is maybe the most physical freshman that he's seen, and that Jordan Scott is lighting it up from three-point land in practice. So that's good. We like that. But let's just go through the Big Ten Media Day preseason poll right now because Michigan State, they are going to start the season outside the top 5. That's right. I actually love that. This is great because just like with all these AP top 25s that come out, I think Michigan State fans find a lot of comfort going into the season outside of these polls. And I think that your head coach, Tom Izzo, feels the same way too. I think he likes to be the hunter. Not to say that he's bothered with being the hunted, but man, there's nothing that guy loves more than a chip on his shoulder going into a season to motivate his team. Seemed to work out pretty well last year. I don't know. Maybe it'll just work out again this year. But anyway, here's your top 10 for the Big Ten Media Day preseason poll. Number 1, Purdue. Not unanimous, oddly enough, because number 2, Michigan, they got 3 first-place votes out of the 28 available, which is, I'll riff on that here in a little bit here. But UCLA, number 3, Illinois, number 4, Oregon, number 5, Michigan State, your Spartans coming in at number 6, number 7, Wisconsin, number 8, Iowa, number 9, Ohio State, number 10, Indiana. Guys, again, I'm fine with it. Do I agree Michigan State is 6th best right now? No, I'd probably have them like in that maybe 4 range. The way I would do it, I would do 1 Purdue, I would do 2 Illinois, actually. I'd do 3 Michigan, and then 4 Michigan State. Although, like, I'm not really that, like, entirely sold on Michigan to the point where they get first-place votes as of yet. Obviously, I think they're going to be a fine team, but not to sound like a hater, which I am. I want it to be crystal clear. Like, I do hate that program with every fiber of my being, especially after that cornball. Dusty May did that weird tango with the half-court thing, like, oh, we knew about it. Oh, no, we didn't know about it. Or, we always have guys at half-court during free throws, when in reality, no, you haven't in the entire season. Are they really going to be, like, first place in the Big Ten competing with Purdue good? I mean, I get it. They got Yaxel, Lundenborg, a guy who was going to be, if you talk to Michigan fans, a top 5 pick, and he's going to be a 13-time All-NBA player. Yeah, they got him in the transfer portal. That's really good. Are we convinced that he's that much better than Danny Wolf, though? Who I thought was a fine player last year. Yes, they got Moritz Johnson from Illinois. That's another great player, of course. They got Mara from UCLA. These are really 2 good big men. Are they better than Vlad Golden, though, who, like, okay, I'll throw Michigan a bone here. Those were 2 good players that they have to replace last year. Oh, they got Elliot Cadeau. That's great. He's famously known for having an awesome jump shot. Like, this is going to be a good team for Michigan. They're not going to be sweating on the bubble at the end of the season, but okay. I think we need to pump the brakes a little bit here. just a smidge. The reason I have Michigan State behind them is not because I'm just trying to reverse jinx it into existence. Yeah, I think replacing Jace is going to be a big issue here, but I also like what Michigan State returns, and that's why I think they are a top 5 team. I'm just happy they're not ranked as one because, yeah, I like the chip on the shoulder, guys. All right, let's get to oh, God. I should have found a brown paper bag upstairs to do this segment because we're doing what we do at the end of every week. 5 best bets. And a few weeks ago, it was fun because we went 5-0. That was cool. Pop champagne. We lit fireworks in the studio. It was great. And then in the 2 weeks ever since, guys, we're combined 1-9. We're combined 1-9 the last 2 weeks. Now, last week, the one before the previous one, we went 0-5. So last one was an improvement, I guess you could say. We went 1-4. Hey, UCLA, that's right, plus 25.5 over Penn State. We got that one. Now, Michigan minus 16.5 over Wisconsin did not come to fruition. Florida State plus 5.5 over Miami missed by 0.5 point. And I am a man of integrity. I got Michigan State. I picked them, Michigan State plus 10.5. Some of you guys out there got them at plus 12.5, which would have covered. But nope, we're going to do the line that we said on the show last week. And then, Dylan Raiola over 244 passing yards. Never was even flirted with, honestly. So last week, 1-4. Our record for the season is 13-17, and we got to get on the right side of things starting now. So this week, we're going to go to Big Ten country for most of these games. I like Ohio State minus 14.5 over Illinois, solely for the fact, I get it, Illinois, top 25 team. This is great. Life is good. Why are we 2 touchdown underdogs against Ohio State? Surely that they're not that good. No. Us Michigan State fans have seen this movie, being double-digit underdogs as a top 25 team against Ohio State and then getting your head chopped off. We're going to go Ohio State minus 14.5 just based on previous experience. Oklahoma, plus 2.5 against Texas. And John Mateer could be playing. I don't even care if he is or is not playing. That's how low I think of Texas. And not just Arch Manning, who was someone a tad overrated coming out of high school. I think his offensive line has also been horrible this year so far, whereas Oklahoma's front seven, I take inspiration in that. So, yes, I'm going to take Oklahoma plus 2.5 in the Red River shootout here. And then for the Big Ten game of the week, Indiana versus Oregon, not going to pick either side, although, oh, boy. I probably will be sprinkling a few on Indiana, but my official pick is going to be under 54.5. I do love the fronts for both of these offenses, making things a little tight here. For both, I think that it will be a bit of a lower scoring game, probably in the high 40s is what I expect here. Now, not to be a hater, and this is actually something I don't do a lot. I'm going to pick against Michigan for my 4th pick. USC, coming off the bye week, get that defense a little healthier, and a defense that I really like because I think they got some good athletes on that team. Just a little thin with depth, but hopefully coming out of the bye week, they can make it happen against Michigan. So USC minus 2.5 over Michigan. And then, guys, that's right. For this last one, for our game, Michigan State versus UCLA, I'm going to fade the public here. I'm going to listen to what I said in the first segment. I'm going to talk myself into it. We're going Michigan State minus 8.5. There's only 25% of the public and 75% of, 75% of the public, 75% of the money is on UCLA right now. That's right. This is where Vegas shines. So we're going to go Michigan State minus 8.5 over UCLA. USC minus 2.5 over Michigan, under 54.5 in Indiana versus Oregon, Oklahoma plus 2.5 over Texas, and Ohio State minus 14.5 over Illinois. Guys, we will be back by the end of this week, and I just want to do a programming note right here. Full transparency, it is my future brother-in-law's bachelor party coming up this weekend. We will be on the west side of the state, tearing it up in Grand Rapids. I'm going to bring the stuff with me, the podcast equipment with me, but there is a loaded itinerary. I don't know when I'll be able to get back. I'm going to try to do it as soon as I possibly can, but that might bleed into Sunday, guys. So you will be seeing and hearing from me by the end of the weekend. I'm going to try to make it as soon as I possibly can. But, guys, thanks a lot for your patience, your understanding. You guys are all the best. And, I'll be on Twitter, I'm sure. We'll be seeing you by the end of this week. And, guys, enjoy your weekend. If you're going to the game, happy homecoming. Let's mix in a water. If you're in Grand Rapids, just moseying around the town, hey, say hello. I'll say hi back because I love you guys. All right, guys.